it's a daunting task if somebody's going to jump out on their own, and knew I needed, kind of the support and the help that comes from being connected with you guys and the GC experts, having the BidTrakker report. And if we run into issues, like you guys often say in the workshop, you're never going to run into a problem that we haven't already found a solution for. And I think anytime somebody's jumping out on their own, having that kind of support, having that as a resource, I think you'd be silly not to buy in.
So you ventured off on your own. You've had your first year in business. Any home runs this year?
Yeah, man, for our first year, we've done really well. Just got, a couple months ago, got a for me, it's the biggest federal contract that I've done to date. And we actually mobilized on it a couple weeks ago. And so, yeah, it's going to be a really nice project for us.
Good.
Kind of project that, if I wanted to, I could, I'll be finishing it up March and April. And if I wanted to, I wouldn't have to do anything else the rest of the year. So
That's fabulous.
that sounds like a home run to me.
Yeah, that is a home run. As you know, Doug invented BidTrakker 30-something years ago. And then a few years ago, I revised it and revamped it and turned it into what it is today with the sync and all that. Have you been using BidTrakker much?
Yeah, so I typically, the way I operate just kind of a little bit, and when I'm pursuing contracts, it's exclusively what I use. And I will, when I'm wearing the hat of get a contract, my goal is every day to open up a new opportunity until we win one. Sure. And so, yeah, I will just exclusively use the BidTrakker. And I've never needed to go outside of that. It's always been, one or two gyms in there that we get. But as you know, when you're doing that, you just bid a lot of jobs. And when they come in, you stop bidding them, and then you go get the jobs done.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how the rhythms have been for me, and utilizing that resource.
How about the $100,000 letter? Have you used that much?
So I've used parts of it, I think that for me, there's a little bit of, once you get into a project, you kind of learn your contract officers, you kind of figure out what they're concerned about, what they're, the things that are keeping them up at night. And there's aspects of that $100,000 letter that help you, do what you need to do in order to kind of set them at ease, but also make sure you're getting the funds that you need, to do the projects the way they need to be done. So I kind of pull from handfuls of different resources. There's another document that your dad put out about writing proposals, help you create a more comprehensive proposal, correcting anybody's ideas about, all proposals are equal except for the price, because that's just not true. Being able to set people at ease, call out the things. And that was great, because it was like, I think it was less than a couple hours from where he lives. But we learned some things on that project that the home run from this year was I've got 3 pond kettles in Georgia.
Oh,
And
okay.
when I was putting that proposal together, there was a couple rounds of it because the original proposal they just didn't have enough funds for. But it was really unique for me because I had put in a proposal, they were due at a certain time, sent off. Oh no, what I'd spoken with the contract officer a number of times, and after a couple iterations of the contract, we ended up getting it. And yeah, so it's been very helpful.
So, being Doug's son and
Hmm.
working with him side by side for, gosh, 30 years now, uh, there's been many times in my life where he's just kind of blown my mind, you know.
Right.
You had any conversations with him and you can remember where he just kind of blew your mind?
Oh yeah. One of the things I really appreciate about your dad, one is that, and I don't think anybody would question this if you've been around him too for very long. He's a brilliant thinker, right? And he likes to think outside the box. Um, I run with a group of people that are actually missionaries, but we always use the term solutionaries.
Okay.
And and your dad's kind of a solutionary. When you run into everybody's kind of scratching their heads on a project. We did a project up in Pine Ridge for the Indian Health Systems, and I think you actually went on that job where we had
I
to add that temporary air through the winter. And he designed this whole temporary air system to be able to operate while we pulled out a huge air handler and swapped it out, and the hospital didn't have to go without heat. And that was kind of on the work side. That was something that was brilliant and kind of blew my mind. But
So the idea when he came to me, I don't know, I guess it was about 12 years now. He says, I think I want to replace who we were in the marketplace. I think I want to start a training organization. We're going to be the experts. Okay, Dad. And but the idea he came up with was that it was like if he had to start over again, what would he want to have known, so that somebody could hit the ground, and start being profitable from day one, shortcut into the federal market. Mission accomplished.
oh, definitely. I think with anything, your consumer on of your guys's, product, if you want to put it that way, the impetus is still on them to do the hard work, to get in. And, if you don't have a job, you need to be bidding one a day. You need to be opening up tons of stuff. And so there's still, but if you don't have the support of what you guys provide, if you don't have that input, I could see how there would be a chasm that could become so great that and discouraging that you just stop, you know. But the amount of, I think, understanding and the transfer of information that you guys do, it really does equip people with enough understanding, enough of the know-how to where that chasm is manageable. At least it was for me, and I think I'm probably not the only person that would say that.
Is there anything I can do for you?
Man, I'm not right now, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. Make sure you guys don't hang up your hat, because I'm gonna keep rolling and would sure like to continue to lock arms, as we move forward and have those partnerships and yeah, cranking out federal contracts.
All right. Well, I'm here for you, Bryan.
Excellent, Sean. Hey, I appreciate it. And once again, man, just great job on a personal level between a dad and a son. I think this is a fantastic idea. And